Of the almost 3,000 people that died on 9/11, 67 were undocumented immigrants, majority having worked at Windows of the World, a restaurant at the very top of the North Tower. They were mostly from Mexico and Central America. And today, 2 decades later, a lot of them are still considered missing. People like Luis Alfonso Chimbo from Ecuador, who was raising a small family in Queens when a friend helped him land his dream job as food and beverage receiver at the World Trade Center. The secrecy of being undocumented made it very difficult for the families of those lost to receive compensation or recover their loved ones. As one person put it, we spent our entire time in this country trying not to be found. The Victims' Compensation Fund was available to anyone who applied, regardless of immigration status. The problem was proving that someone was at the scene of the attacks. Most of the workers were paid cash. They had no pay stubs or income tax statements, and many of the employers didn't want to admit to hiring undocumented workers. Of the 67 families, about 12 were able to come up with the documentations they needed to get aid. And over 20 years later, some of the families can't even be found anymore. 100,000 spies live in the United States. Now, that's a rough estimate by the FBI. They believe that there's a lot more. But there was a Puerto Rican woman that was so good at being a spy that she was able to do it for almost 2 decades. Her name was Ana Montes. She went to some of the best schools in the United States, like the University of Virginia and Johns Hopkins University. And her grades matched her work ethic. Now, there is where she was recruited by the Cuban government. A liaison for the Cuban government approached her and later trained her, encouraging her to work for the Defense Intelligence Agency. After getting a job as an intelligence analyst, she went to work, sending encrypted messages to her liaisons at the Cuban government. And she did this for 17 years. She told Cuban agents about secret military bases, special forces training camps, and even the identities of spies that were living in Cuba. It's believed that Anna's intel is responsible for the death of a Green Beret that was killed in El Salvador. 10 days after September 11th, she was arrested. It's believed that she was only arrested because she had information about the military invasion of Afghanistan, and she was going to give it up to the Cuban government. The craziest thing about all of this, she did it for free, never once getting paid for it. In 1912, French inventor Franz Reichlich displayed unwavering faith for his homemade parachute, choosing to test it before a crowd at the Eiffel Tower. Despite numerous warnings, he leaped from the tower's first platform wearing his invention. Unfortunately, the parachute failed to deploy, leading to a tragic fall from a height of 187 feet, resulting in his untimely death. The Bennington Triangle is a mysterious area of woods in southwestern Vermont where 5 people disappeared from the 5 years of 1945 to 1950. Disturbing trail cam footage from August 2021 captured a barely clothed Jane Doe walking through a remote area in Anson County. Despite efforts to identify her, she remained a mystery. In February 2022, her remains were discovered in the same area, still wearing the same clothes seen in the footage. Alan Eugene Miller has recently become just the second person in history to be executed by nitrogen hypoxia. On August 5, 1999, he shot and killed his 2 co-workers, Lee Holdsbrook and Christopher Yancey, then drove to a former workplace and killed his ex-supervisor, Terry Jarvis. Karen Knott, an American student, disappeared on December 27, 1986, and her body was found the next day in a ravine. Her killer, police officer Craig Allen Peer, was interviewed during the investigation, with scratches from Knott visible on his face. In September 2024, 15-year-old Krishna Kumar tragically died after an unqualified surgeon performed gallbladder removal surgery. He learned it from YouTube. On the day that Einstein died, most of the photojournalists went to the hospital to try to capture photos of the event that was happening. Ralph Morse chose to visit Einstein's office, where he captured the most iconic image ever taken after Einstein died, his desk. Laura Wyndham's mummified and skeletal remains were found in Woking, England in May 2021, more than 3 years after her death. She was 38 years old and considered vulnerable due to her deafness and schizophrenia. In December 2023, 2-year-old Bronson Battersby tragically died of starvation after his father passed away from a heart attack. Unable to reach food or water, Bronson was left helpless. This is the very last photo of Michael Hippenzinger, taken on May 13, 2010 by his wife as he set out on Carson Lake near Barry's Bay in Ontario, Canada. He never returned, and his canoe was later found empty. Both paddles were still inside. In 2014, 23-year-old Ashley Gabriel Huff was arrested by police when she mistook dried SpaghettiO residue on a spoon in her car for narcotics. She spent a month in jail, and as a result of her incarceration, Huss missed her child's birthday and lost her job at Waffle House. Paul Bear Vasquez, the creator who filmed the Double Rainbow video, made thousands of videos in advance and reportedly scheduled 15 years worth of content before he died. In 2009, Noor al-Maliki was run over by her own father in an honor killing after she repeatedly refused an estranged marriage. In 1995, Tupac was asked if he believes Diddy was involved in the shooting against him. This is what he had to say.
So do you think Puffy was involved in the shooting?
Only they can answer that question.
Right.
I have my own opinion, but I wouldn't slander their name like they did mine.
Right.
I wouldn't say things that I knew, you know what I mean? I believe so. I do believe so. I have proved things that I can say that will back up my claim, but this is not for the world to know about. You know what I mean? It's between me and him, and only he knows. So every time he say it didn't happen, or that's the only thing that makes this become an issue to everybody. Because you seen what I said in the Vibe article. I basically bowed out and was gonna go ahead about my life. The next issue, that wasn't even the next issue, because them cowards waited about 4 issues before they got their story together. 4 issues later, half of New Yorkers commenting on me getting shot. And before, they was all like, we didn't see nothing. In the first issue, read it, Vibe viewers. Nobody seen shit. The 4th issue, when they came back with a reply, everybody knew what I did. They knew what I said. I was acting. Who gets shot 5 times in acts? Oh, I didn't get shot 5 times in A Vision. I only got shot once because they found the bullet. The police found it, but now they the cops. Now they doing detective work. They found the bullet. Oh, you found the bullet, huh? So what is this other shit in me then? What was the doctors talking about? What? Can you explain these other holes in me? How'd I get gunpowder all over me? That insulted my intelligence. So yes, I did say Thug Life was there. Yes, I bowed out, all of that. But when they said that, they breathed new life in me. Yeah. And Thug Life not only became a rap group, but it became a way of life for life for me. Because they disrespected me, my name, my family, what I had been through. They said that I couldn't be in pain. I could not feel. I could not be hurt.
Is there still a beef going on with you and Biggie?
It was never a beef. It's only a difference in opinion.
Right.
To me, if I like my homeboy Suge gave me the best advice I could ever get from anybody. He said when people ask him if he's beefing with Bad Boy with Puffy, he says like me going to a playground and picking on a little kid.
Right.
That's like me being mad at my little brother because he getting cash now. I'm not mad at that. I'm just mad at my little brother when he don't respect me.
Yeah.
Now, when you don't respect me, I'm gonna spank your ass. I don't give a fuck how rich you got on the block. I'm your big brother.